Hello and welcome to this episode of CommuNInqué. This episode is going to be focused on the major amounts of Smash Brothers news that have come out overnight, which is partially why I didn't do the CommuNInqué mini last night, as well as the fact that it was information that we already knew that Alf was an alternate skin of Olimar. And so, going right into this huge amount of news, a retailer apparently must have been selling copies of this new Super Smash Bros. 3DS games to people in Japan. And so the game is out, people have already unlocked the full roster for the game and are exploring all of the options. And so, first things first, the roster leak that happened back in August was true. That was the full roster for the game. So I'll just fly through the character list really quick to give you an impression of what characters are in the game. And so, starting off, Mario, Luigi, Peach, Bowser, Yoshi, Rosalina, Bowser Jr., Wario, Mr. Game & Watch, Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, Link, Zelda, Sheik, Ganondorf, Toon Link, Samus, Zero Suit Samus, Pit, Palutena, Marth, Ike, Robin, Kirby, King Dedede, Meta Knight, Little Mac, Fox, Falco, Pikachu, Charizard, Lucario, Jigglypuff, Greninja, Duck Hunt, Rob, Ness, Captain Falcon, Villager, Olimar, Wii Fit Trainer, Dr. Mario, Dark Pit, Lucina, Shulk, Pac-Man, Mega Man, Sonic, Mii Fighter. And so we've got the full roster now. People have already shown us everything that there is to know. There's plenty of videos out there of streamers who played with the different characters, so I will just include a few clips from those. And it's kind of hard to judge so far what the characters are going to be like, because most of the streamers, unfortunately, were not the best at Smash Brothers, and so it's kind of hard to tell how well they'll do in competitive aspects, but all the new characters look great, the renders are amazing, and so just some impressions that I got from the stuff that I was watching. So Mr. Game & Watch appears to be a little bit faster than he was in Brawl. Some of his attacks have farther reach, and so we'll see the specifics of that later. I was not able to see footage specifically of Ganondorf and Wario. Bowser Jr. does have the Koopaling alts, so it's just Bowser Jr. and then all of his alternate costumes are the different Koopalings. I wasn't able to see any footage of Rob, so I'm not sure how much he differs. Duck Hunt Dog looks so much fun to play as. Oh my gosh, he attacks himself most of the time. He's got an attack where he tosses the duck and it turns into the can and something shoots it across the stage as it goes and does damage, and then it explodes at the end. And then, like, his recovery is the duck picks him up by his tail and carries him away, and so on. It's just so much fun. And then Ness got his own stage of Magic Hand, which we'd seen sort of in the trailer. It's kind of pink clouds and castle in the background, and so it looks a lot better, I guess, almost than Unett, in my opinion, for a stage for Ness. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. Ness, I wasn't able to tell too many differences in Ness, but his art looks really good. His sprite does very well. And so Dr. Mario, I've seen the unlock for Dr. Mario, but I've only heard rumors about how he differs. I know his down B is the spin tornado that he had from Melee, and so that's one way he differs from Mario. He also still retains his pills, and so we'll see if he keeps some of his other quirks that he had from Melee. His final smash is pretty much the same as Mario's, unfortunately, just instead of fire he uses a giant pill. And then Dark Pit appears to be a complete clone of Pit. His side B is different, but that's pretty much all that people have been able to find out so far. He really appears to be just almost exactly like Pit, which is kind of disappointing because they could have done a lot more with different Kid Icarus Uprising weapons, him having his staff and doing things with it, but I guess that's the way it goes. And so, man, there's a lot to be looked at in this leak. There's also a lot of people who are going through Classic, and above certain difficulties you'll obviously face Master Hand and Crazy Hand, and there's a thing now called, if you're on a higher difficulty, where when you defeat I think either Master Hand or Crazy Hand in the battle, they will fuse into what's called the Master Core. And the Master Core is at first surrounded by these like shadow-esque kind of particles just forming into different shapes. First it's kind of this being that's standing in the background essentially, that's just behind the stage attacking, and you can attack it, and it has attacks where it lifts up Final Destination itself and slams it down. It's like, it's insane. And just then it moves on to a kind of weird sort of wolf-like form where it's attacking like a big carnivorous wolf, has giant teeth and such. Then it transforms into 6 swords that attack you, and then it turns into a larger version of whatever character you're playing in Classic as, and you have to fight it and beat it. And then finally it becomes what's just known as the Smash Core, which looks a lot like a Smash Ball, but you just attack it over and over. It doesn't attack back at that point, and you just keep attacking it until you can blast it off the screen. And so it looks like a very interesting final boss for the Classic mode. Some people have been saying that it is harder than Taboo on the hardest mode in the Subspace Emissary and Brawl, which is kind of frightening considering you would fight Taboo with 6 characters, as well as he had essentially a one-hit KO move. And so we'll see if he is actually harder, especially on the higher difficulties. And so that's about all the Smash news I have for the moment. I'm not going to go too much into particulars at this time, just because there's a lot of information to cover and a lot of information that's going to be coming out in the next few days, so I'll continue coverage as we get to release and past release. And so one bit of news that did come out officially as well is that the Smash Run in Smash Bros. 3DS will not support online play, and so you're going to have to do local play only if you're going to want to play Smash Run multiplayer. And so we'll also see if we're going to get a demo for the US version or the English version of the game, as Sakurai has teased that we might be getting it as well. And so I think that's about all the news I have for the moment, other than that there is this is kind of amusing, but there is a Pikmin movie that's going to be shown at the Tokyo Festival, and apparently it's going to be Miyamoto revealing it, and it's going to be made up of 3 shorts, one called The Night Juicer, in which Captain Olimar makes his favorite juice, Treasures in a Bottle, in which the Pikmin meet a strange treasure, and Occupational Hazards, which will be an adventure at a treasure construction site. And so we'll see how that turns out, what it's like. I never thought they would be turning Pikmin into a movie, or let alone pretty much any other video game since the Super Mario Bros. Movie way back. But yeah, that's about all the news I have for you today. Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I will be back with more news tomorrow and tonight. And so I will try to keep up this Smash coverage for as long as possible. I will try not to include too many copyrighted images before release, but it's close enough to release that I think that we should be okay with it. And with that, I will see you tonight. Stay classy, YouTube.